Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do a fun video, top 5 end of the world guns, okay? Which guns would you want to have with you going into an end of the world scenario. Now, for you guys that have been in this game for a while, none of this is going to come as a surprise to you. It might even be a little bit boring. I hope you do get something out of it. There might be something in there that you find useful. To the new people coming along, this will be some new and interesting information for you. Okay, so number 1 on my list, and should not be a surprise to anyone, the AR-15. Okay, you want an AR that's in factory condition. In fact, all these guns should be in factory condition. Nothing that you built yourself. Just the way you bought it from the factory. That's the gun that you want. Okay, you want to make sure that the gun has iron sights on it. Okay, iron sights. You want to make sure it has a red dot, and you want to make sure that it has a flashlight. This gun doesn't have a flashlight, but you want it to have a flashlight. You want it to have basically points where you can attach a sling, so you can attach the gun to your body. Okay, so AR-15, top of the list, have plenty of ammo for it. I would say at least 2,000 rounds, preferably 4,000 rounds plus. Okay, number 2 on my list, Glock 17. It can be a 19. But you want a Glock 17 or 19, that shoots 9mm. Again, because the ammunition is so popular, there's so much of it out there. Very reliable gun. I mean, there's lots of other good guns out there, but hey, this one right here has 70,000 rounds on it. Okay, I use this to train people. So this gun has a lot of miles. Original springs, everything's original on this gun. Never had to make a single repair on it. So this is a gun that will make it to the end of the world. Okay, so Glock 17, you gotta have that gun. Okay, even if you don't like shooting that gun, even if it's not comfortable for you, it's still the gun that you want to have, going into the end of the world. Okay, let me tell you that AR-15 is also pretty reliable. I mean, not this one over here, but I do have another AR, but I have some 10,000 rounds plus on it, and it's still going very well. So ARs are also very reliable guns. And the thing with the ARs is that that the parts are out there. It's easy to find them. It's easy to make repairs yourself. You want to have extra parts, extra bolts, and stuff like that. But number 1, AR-15. Number 2, Glock 17. Number 3, AK-47. Again, should not be a surprise to you. World-proven combat gun. Obviously it's going to have the iron sights. Mount a red dot scope on this. Okay, and the nice thing about the red dot, these mounts, the scope can be removed easily if the red dot does not work. And the reason why I'm kind of putting that out as significant, the way I see the AR and the AK is like for the first 5 years, I would probably want to be using the AR-15 because the ammunition's more plentiful. The ammunition's lighter to carry. But basically, I don't, if it's going to be a long, drawn-out struggle, that where you actually survive 5 years in and you're still fighting, okay, at that point, there's a high chance that the AR-15 is either going to be out of ammo or is not going to be working. Even after you went through all your replacement parts. And the reason for this is that the AR-15 is a light gun. It's made from aluminum. Aluminum tends to be a little bit softer. The AR-15, when you shoot it, that bolt expands. It's a very violent reaction. That cam pin is under a lot of stress. So that's one of the first things that's going to break. The cam pin's going to break, or the bolt's going to break at some point down the road. So eventually, okay, if you put enough rounds on the gun, and I don't know what that number is, if you put, I would think as you start to push past 50,000 rounds, and I only say 50,000 because I've got one with 10,000 rounds on it. So and that's got all original parts on it. But I would think as you start getting past 50,000 rounds, the gun's going to start stressing and things are going to start breaking. Okay, so the way I see it, the AR-15 is like the gun I would use for the first 5 years, and as that breaks and falls apart and ammo runs out, I would then switch to the AK-47. So this is the 5 years plus gun. And naturally, you're not going to be carrying both guns at the same time. It's assumed that you have a location where you have your ammo and your supplies hidden. Okay. So AK-47, number 3. The AK-47 can also be useful as a hunting gun for like small game like deer, because that 30 caliber round, a lot of guys hunt deer with like a 300 blackout. Which is very similar to the round that the AK-47 shoots. So the AK, can also kind of serve that dual purpose. The AR can be the gun that your personal protection gun, and the AK can kind of be your hunting gun. That might be a way to look at it. However, don't expect to be eating too many deer. In fact, I expect that the deer and all medium game are going to disappear very quickly and become extinct. Okay, basically they will very quickly be hunted to the point where they cannot find each other and reproduce fast enough. Okay, for that reason, number 4 on my list is the Ruger 10/22. Okay, get yourself a 25, several 25-round magazines. Obviously, keep your iron sights. Get a red dot that will fit on it, and this is basically the gun that's going to be feeding you. Okay, because with this, you're going to use this to hunt squirrels and rabbits and other small things that run around on the ground. So this is a very important gun. There's lots of 22s out there, but the Ruger 10/22 is one of those guns that has proven itself time and time again. This one here has at least 15 to 20,000 rounds on it, and I barely ever clean it. I don't think I've ever taken it apart. I usually just hold the bolt open. I just spray it. The gun works. And it's just a very good, reliable gun. Okay, so Ruger 10/22, number 4 on my list. Number 5 on my list, the shotgun, 12 gauge shotgun. It doesn't need to be a pump, although most people are probably going to use a pump. If you have a Saiga 12, which like my Saiga 12 has some 30,000 rounds on it. I consider that at the end of its life, so I wouldn't use that gun. I have a Lynx 12, which is doing very well. I would probably use that gun because semi-automatic, a reliable semi-automatic shotgun will always beat a pump, especially under stressful circumstances. But the point is, you need a 12 gauge. You need it because you can, put slugs in there in case you do find a deer or a bear. You can put buckshot in there for turkey hunting, and you can put bird shot in there for birds. And you're gonna, in a sense, you're actually gonna be living off this gun even more than that 10/22 because squirrels and rabbits are pretty quick and they're hard to find. Birds are a lot easier to hunt. Especially with birdshot, you can shoot them right out of the air as they're flying by. So have lots of birdshot because I suspect a lot of you guys in that type of end of the world scenario, apocalypse, shit hit the fan. A lot of you guys are going to be living off of birds. Okay, so have lots of birdshot. Now the bad thing about birdshot and shotgun shells in general is that they're heavy and they take up a lot of space. Okay. 100 rounds of 5.56, I think weighs something like it's like 6 pounds. Okay, whereas 100 rounds of 12 gauge weighs more than double. Okay, at one point I had actually weighed it. It's not just a weight; it's also a volume. It just takes up a lot of space. So that's the thing. You can only chances are you can only store so much 12 gauge. The 22, on the other hand, because it's so compact, if you've got 10 500 round boxes, okay, you've got a lot of rounds. I mean, you can easily store 20,000 rounds of bulk 22. Okay, so that's one of the things to keep in mind as you're making your preparations. And you can not only use this gun to hunt small game like rabbits and squirrels, but you can also use this as a training gun because what's going to happen is the ammo that you have for those 2 guns, for your AK and your AR-15, you're probably not going to be wasting it in training exercise at that point. You're going to be conserving it. So basically, you want to have something that you can actually practice with, and this gun, is kind of similar to those guns, in the way it's set up. So that's what makes this a very good, reliable training gun. Okay. As far as the ammo storage that you would want on your AR and your AK, I would say minimum 2,000 rounds each, ideally 4,000 plus rounds. Okay. And the Glock, because remember this is more of your backup gun, so this you probably want about 1,000 to 2,000 rounds. Obviously more is better, but keep in mind that storing this stuff takes up space, and if you need to move from one location to another, now you gotta move a lot of stuff. So that's something that that needs to be factored in. The other thing I would say is regarding these 5 guns is have 2 of them, 2 of each. Okay. Now, especially with the AR, I mean, obviously it's easy to make repairs. So you want extra bolts, you want extra springs, extra pins. You can buy those replacement kits. They sell them online. But in addition to all those extra lost and broken parts that you would normally buy for that gun, you want to have a second gun. First of all, somebody else in your family can shoot it if you need somebody to back you up. But like I said, guns break, guns get lost, guns get stolen. You might be in a situation where you're running away from a situation and the gun gets dropped and you can't get back to it. So have a second gun. All these guns, you should have 2 of each. Now, this is what you want going into the end of the world type of situation. That plan can go to shit in the first day. I mean, you might be in a situation where you have to leave the area fast, and you might be able to take 1 or 2 of these guns, and maybe just whatever, a couple of magazines, and that's it. So fully aware of that possibility. You have no idea how the end of the world type of situation would unfold. So the only thing that you can do is be prepared going into it, okay? And for that, have these 5 guns, and then make the best out of things as they unfold. Post some comments. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you guys next time.